Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Psynergic and today we are listening to Volcano by Han. So this just came out within the last day. It just popped up on my feed and I'm like, oh, hey Han. And then I got a comment, somebody asking me to do it and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to. So here we are, we're doing it. We're doing a thing. Hey, if you guys like this content, like, subscribe, all those other things. And without further ado, let's just listen to this. Oh. Oh. God.
뜨겁게 타올라도 돼 옆에 날 상처내도 돼 네가 좋다면 나는 어떤 것도 될 수 있는데 Yeah, you can hurt me, I don't care You can hurt me, 바로 내게서 달라르는 저들과 달리 널 감싸줄게 Like a volcano 다음은 누굴 똑같은 농도의 love 내가 미쳐 끝자락 내게 데려다줘 전부 다 차버려도 괜찮아 수백 번 돌이킨다 해도 내 선택은 언제나 내게 녹아들 수 있게 내 몸을 감싸줘 파도 머리 속에 차갑고 거친 파도 속에 뜨거운 네가 필요해 You are my volcano 내 몸이 난중이 노신의 비맘이 관심 하나로 밝히 달라진 넌빛 너의 품 날씬 나의 손 날씬 추락하던 날 잡아 다시 비행 몰락하던 나의 날들은 비였지만 너가 나타난 후 귀에 걸린 내 볼이 내려오질 않아 왜 You wanna go back 누구보다 제일 나는 그대에게 모든 걸 꺼내줄게 나는 매일 I can feel your nail 내일이 기다려진다 너의 웃음 이번엔 어떤 모습으로 밝아져 나를 키워줘 아파도 돼 네가 흘린 상처들은 감싸낼게 이미 내게 노는 죄 앞보다 더욱 달콤해서 거부는 못해 뜨겁게 타올라도 돼 옆에 날 상처내도 돼 네가 좋다면 나는 어떤 것도 될 수 있는데 Yeah, you can hurt me, I don't care You can hurt me, 바로 내게서 달라르는 저들과 달리 널 감싸줄게 Like a volcano 다음은 누굴 똑같은 농도의 love 내가 미쳐 끝자락 내게 데려다줘 전부 다 차버려도 괜찮아 수백 번 돌이킨다 해도 내 선택은 언제나 너 없이 못 살아 나는 곧 죽어도 너 몇 번을 다시 태어나도 오직 너에게만 난 주고 싶어 뜨거워 내 속삭여 널 생각하면 내 맘 Like a volcano 다음은 누굴 똑같은 농도의 love 내가 미쳐 끝자락 내게 데려다줘 전부 다 차버려도 괜찮아 수백 번 돌이킨다 해도 내 선택은 언제나 내게 녹아들 수 있게 내 몸을 감싸줘 파도
Tricked ya. I mean, clearly what we're talking about here is love. Obviously. One of the first things that people mention to me about Stray Kids is the fact that they don't really put gender into their lyrics, which personally I find to be very appealing. Just because it appeals to a much larger audience. Like, I can see Han singing that to me, or the lyrics being about somebody that I love, you know. It doesn't automatically, like for me, I don't have to translate it. Like, I already have to translate. Obviously the language is different. I don't have to translate it from hetero to homo. I can just sit here and go, oh, okay. And I just simply appreciate that right off the bat, always. I used to mention that a lot. I don't think I've mentioned that recently because I've just become a fan and just fanboyed over them too much. But it is something that I still very much appreciate out of all of their lyrics. And in particular, this spoke to me right off the bat because, listen, hold on. You know us, we'll get into it. We'll get into it here. I'll protect you. It's okay to hurt. Important. I'll embrace the wounds that you shed. I don't really get that part of the lyrics, but I'll embrace your wounds, as in you've been hurt. I will protect you. I will understand that hurt and try to understand that hurt. To me, you're already a sin. Like, sir, for me as a gay man, that's already speaking, okay? Like, we're already talking to my heart already. I don't think he meant it like that necessarily, but that's the art of crafting lyrics, is that even though I don't think that that's what he's speaking to, it still speaks to me as somebody different. That's not me, trying to assume sexuality or assign any sort of sexuality, but that is a beautiful thing about some of the craftsmanship of the lyrics that Han and the other kids craft. I mean, now we just really get into that. Like, he wants to see you light up. You make him feel good. The lighting up of the world, the dark world, which, is very reminiscent of new love. Like, that's what it feels like. I mean, listen, when you start getting out of the honeymoon phase, that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It's just a matter of, like, it happens in different ways, let's say. Even if I've seen it 100 times, I still lack so much. Scars of the wounds that covered my heart. Okay. Clearly, we're talking about hurt, pain of the heart. This is never a good pain. As if only you could notice them. Okay. That's... It was the first time. I protect you. It's okay to hurt. I'll embrace the wounds you shed. See, when he says the wounds you shed, I'm not sure, and this could just be translating, translational errors. There's always something lost, okay? I always say that, or I've said that 100 times on this channel, if not more. There's always something lost in translation, so there's always going to be something a little bit lost in our interpretation of these lyrics. But to me, the question is the wounds you shed, is it like you're bleeding out of those wounds? Is that what you mean? Like you're shedding blood? Or is it like you're lashing out around you, wounding others? Those interpretations could mean different things, obviously, and would impact how I actually thought of that person. Listen, I think, look, if it's, I don't remember which order I said it. If it's the latter, you wounding others around you, you think of wounded animals. You think of when a person is hurting the most, that is when they're likely going to lash out at others around them. And, that's definitely something that happens. It's definitely real. Sometimes, and this is something that I think even therapists struggle with, is that, sometimes these individuals will lash out and hurt those around them. A lot of times it's an indicator of the hurt that they feel. And so that's where the empathy part comes in, is you can start to reframe it in your mind, especially if you're in a counseling or therapy position, to say, you know what, I know that they're lashing out at me, but I also know that they're hurting right now. And that's a very big defensive mechanism for them. I can't tell you the number of times that while I was working in the hospital, which was a stabilization unit, meaning that it's essentially the emergency room of mental health, that people would say things that that they would later regret to me or to anyone else, and they would, once they start to stabilize and come down from whatever they were dealing with, they would apologize. If it wasn't in a group, it would be to me, they would just come up and say, I'm sorry. It's sometimes hard to remember that in that moment, but it is something to try and keep in mind. If it's the former, not the latter, and you're shedding like the blood, that is way more protective in these lyrics. I think it's more Han saying, I will embrace you and try to stop that wound from bleeding, try to heal that wound. Oh no, I remember the Avatar The Last Airbender where Aang lost Appa, where they lost Appa.
You stole Appa! Where is he? What did you do to him?
And Aang was like getting all angry at the sandbenders who stole him.
Where is my bison? You tell me where he is now!
What did you do?
I'm sorry! I didn't know it belonged to the Avatar!
Tell me where Appa is!
I traded him to some merchants. He's probably in Ba Sing Se by now. They were gonna sell him there. Please, we'll escort you out of the desert. We'll help however we can. Just get out of here! Run!
And Katara just came up and like grabbed his hand. And he calmed down. He was crying and she just embraced him. That's, man, I'm so glad that I thought of that. But it really depends on what that translation is really meant to say. I guess you could take it both ways, however you interpret it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You're already a sin. So I'm guessing, so this is where I started to see you're already a sin. I can't refuse because you're sweeter than evil. Interesting. I'm guessing we're talking about just obsessiveness. You're already a sin. I'm obsessing over you. I can't refuse you. You're sweeter than evil. Listen, as the gay man who has been called evil by super religious fanatics too often, I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, okay? Like, it's speaking to me, okay? That's I'm saying it, but I'm not saying it. Can wound me next to you. Okay, so now this is starting to make me feel like you're bursting into flames. So now it's really starting to sound like they're lashing out to everybody else around them. You can wound me next to you. Okay, so now I'm really starting to think of that Katara scene, that Katara Aang scene, the Katang scene. If you like, I can be anything. I guess, like, I think the romantic part of me is like, oh, that's so sweet. But the therapist side of me, the clinical psychologist part of me is like, yeah, but when is, like you don't have to put up with that. Like, this is the dueling parts of Sean right now. Like, there's the hopeless romantic in me that's like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And then there's the clinical psychologist is like, y'all gonna have to come see me at some point because you're gonna get tired of this, honey.
Like a volcano.
It's not. It's not. It's sweet. It's sweet. It's okay if everything burns down. 100. Yeah, no. Go back 100 times. My choice is always. Again, like, the hopeless romantic in me is like, oh my God, yes, please, can I have that man? But then the clinical psychology, the rational side of me is also like, Boy, you deserve better than that. I love how he goes into that falsetto voice. I gotta... I'm the drought, you're the rain. I'm paper, you're a poem. Your attention changes the brightness of my empty heart, your light. So what this has sounded like to me at this point is from Hans, like he's saying your my, so I'm gonna say Han, okay, in place of my empty heart. I'm the paper, you're the poem. I'm the drought, you're the rain. Sounding like he's just down, depressed, and not feeling good about themselves, which reframes this again as the clinician in me is now questioning the health of this relationship, because even though they're bringing life out of you, it doesn't sound like it's necessarily a good thing if they're lashing out at you and hurting you. Y'all wanted lyrics. Yeah, I love lyrics. This is getting more complex. Arms, my home, my breath, my God. Grabbed me when I was flying. My falling days were sorrow. This is so complex because I'm on one hand, like, I think we've all had, well, I've had individuals in my life like this where you know, in that moment I was sad. I forget where I just saw this. I mean, maybe it was TikTok, where somebody was like, hey, you shouldn't go grocery shopping when you're hungry because you'll pick the wrong foods. Relationships are like that. You shouldn't get into a relationship just because you're feeling lonely. You might choose the wrong one. And this is kind of what it's reminding me of right now, because I get it, you were down. And again, this hopeless romantic in me is like, oh my God, they pulled you through. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but it's clearly not necessarily a good relationship. Maybe it's good for the moment and you're going to have some stories to tell. But long term, boy, I don't know. How your smile will brighten and make me laugh this time. You can burst into flames, you can wound me next to you. I mean, that part too, like, I can be anything for you, which is also like, I get that. It's romantic, but who are you then? Who are you? Love at a temperature that can melt when touched. So to me, this is now like, it feels like we're talking about one of those passionate loves that won't necessarily last, but is very passionate and it's very explosive, which is obvious by the title here. It shouldn't probably last. You should probably move on to as soon as you start feeling better. Because it's going to wear out its time and you're not going to be able to deal with it forever. He looks really good in this picture. I just can't. Like, I didn't say that earlier, but I've been thinking it this entire time. I think that's, at the end of the day, my thoughts on the lyrics of this. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. If you guys like this stuff, let me know. Give me some other things you'd like me to dissect the lyrics of. And I'll try to do my best. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.